Okay guys, I'm here back again to react to the other 2D vlogs for Dark Deception. Let's do this.
Hey everyone, welcome back. It's time for devlog number 5. Kind of hard to believe, after just a few months, we're already on devlog number 5 and we're wrapping up chapter number 3. Speaking of the devlogs, my original intention for those was just as a fun way to show early progress in our process on levels and new chapters. However, over time, excitement for the devlogs grew. And with that, expectations for what the devlogs were supposed to be kind of went off track a little bit. Instead of being about our process and giving a glimpse of the development, small look at certain items, instead an expectation formed that these devlogs should actually be more of a tell-all or a trailer of each level. Kind of an in-depth look at enemies, the mechanics, and the gameplay elements of each upcoming level. Which essentially doesn't really tell much about our process, and at the same time leaves very few surprises for the upcoming chapter. Due to this growing excitement, impatience within our community has been also growing, and these devlogs have started to become more of an obligation and an obstacle to our development than the fun little videos that they were supposed to be. Now, some of you might be bummed out hearing me say all this, but that's really not my intention. The devlogs are not going anywhere. I'm merely saying, hey, pause, let's step back, and get the devlogs back to what they were supposed to be. These videos are not going to spoil anything.
The enemy right there is called the Dread Ducky.
And they're just going to be short, fun glimpses, look back at the progress we've made. Simple summaries of each level that are not going to be anywhere near 10 minutes long anymore. For me, this is a great way to make the devlogs feel more informative, faster to make, fun, and feel like less like they're taking us away from development of the actual game. But yeah, I know. Let's get to what you guys are really here for. The thing you've been asking for the last few weeks. Level 4, the sewer. Yep, that's right. The next stop in the Dark Deception journey is a weird and creepy sewer system. Now, in a lot of horror stories, sewers are a great source of the unknown. We as humans don't really spend a lot of time traversing sewer systems or just kind of hanging around there. So it really is a big mystery to a lot of us, and a lot of us have never set foot in a sewer system. As a result, this allows our imagination to run wild, imagining what sort of things might be down there. This leads to a lot of urban legends, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard the stories about things getting flushed down the toilet and winding up in the sewer where they grow to ridiculous sizes. I think for most people now, the sewers are a place where everything floats, and a certain very well-known clown awaits to greet you. For me, the sewers are a place where the lost and forgotten things in people's lives wind up. And I think that's a theme you might notice as you play through the level. As many of you have seen online, the Dread Duckies are the enemy of the sewer, and they will definitely test your ability to pay attention to details. This is largely because, as I've shown and talked about online, there's a lot of water in the sewer level, and it's very hard to run in water, so this will affect the player's movement speed, including speed boost. There are also a lot of other obstacles like doors that will also slow down the player's escape, so it's going to be really important to pay attention to your surroundings to prevent enemies from sneaking up on you. And yes, there will be traps again. One of the unique aspects of the Dread Ducky is that it's the first enemy to have a long-range attack. That's why it's very important not to let them get too close to you. They don't have to be right next to you to kill you. The last thing I'll mention is that the Dread Duckies are not the only enemy you will face in the sewer level. What do I mean by that? Well, you'll have to play the game to find out. But it's something that will be pretty common in all levels from here on out. Okay, let's switch gears for a minute. One of the things that I get asked about a lot, but we never really talk about much, is how did we make Dark Deception? What is our process, and what goes into making and designing a level in Dark Deception? Now, obviously, I can't show you everything, but I can definitely give you a look behind the curtain. Back in 2014, when I first created Dark Deception, I was actually very focused on replayability, since Dark Deception was originally supposed to be a mobile title. As a result, when I was designing the levels, I was designing them to be procedural tile sets. The reason for this being that the mazes would be randomly generated, meaning each time you played, the layout would be completely different than the previous time. We accomplished this by creating 16 meter by 16 meter tile sets with pathways that would be connected when the tiles were snapped together programmatically. Now, the downside of that approach is that it severely limited the creativity of our level layout. It also created a lot of technical issues, since light bakes would produce weird results, and we'd often get a lot of texture seams where the tiles met up that were difficult to hide. Thankfully, that is no longer the case with the current version of Dark Deception. Everything is a static layout now, and that gives us a lot of freedom as to how we lay out the level and how we build assets. So now we've switched more to a modular approach with our assets. That's where we build a lot of little assets, a lot of little pieces, and basically reuse those pieces to create all manners of architectural form and layout. All of Dark Deception's characters and environments are created inside of Autodesk Maya. As for the characters, they are also rigged and animated in Maya as well. For textures and materials, we usually use Photoshop as well as Substance Painter and Designer. I highly recommend Substance for anyone serious about creating assets for games and getting into the game industry. It's something you'll definitely want to become familiar with, since you'll be using it a lot, whether you work for a AAA studio or an indie studio. Since the game was built in Unreal, it was very important
Sorry,
definitely want to become familiar with, since you'll be using it a lot, whether you work for a AAA studio or an indie studio. Since the game was built in Unreal, it was very important for us to familiarize ourselves with Blueprint system, as well as to keep an eye on the number of draw calls and optimization in general across textures and level assets, as those will greatly affect the performance of your game on different platforms. Okay, that's a wrap for devlog number 5. Before we sign off, there's one more thing I need to thread. On March 4th, we're going to be having Dark Deception's largest sale on Dark Deception Complete. Yes, even bigger than Steam Summer Sale. And the reason we're doing this is because there's a lot of initiatives that we want to move forward, and we need to raise money now rather than later to get these off the ground. Things like Dark Deception on mobile, Dark Deception on Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox One. These are things that we definitely need help with, and it costs a lot of money. So we're hoping that with the sale that we can get a good bit of that money that we need to get all of these things moving right now in development, so that we can have them out to you.
I'm not sure the sale's going on anymore,
sooner.
Please,
So,
just try to buy the game
like to get it 30%
on your computer.
Now, remember, Dark Deception Complete
to help support it. We can't because our Steam account got hacked a long time ago.
For the entire game, which is about $3.50 per chapter. That is the best price that we will offer for all of 2019. So definitely move fast if you are serious about supporting us and you really want to play the game. So that's it. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Good talk and good night. I'll see you next devlog. Hello and welcome back. It's time for devlog number 6. That said, we're not going to waste any time this episode. We're going to jump right into it. That brings us to level 5, Crazy Carnival. Yep, that's right. This level drops you right into an evil circus infested with clown gremlins. So what is the clown gremlin? Well, basically, it's an evil midget clown. It's Dark Deception's swarm-type enemy, and it tries to overpower the player with sheer numbers. As a result, the player will definitely need to utilize their new powers to neutralize the swarms of clowns that will be chasing after them. The clown gremlins have a few tricks up their sleeve as well, though, including the clown car, which can spawn multiple clowns at once, increasing their number in the field. Originally, the clown gremlin was going to be something very different entirely. It actually wasn't even going to be a gremlin. Our original concepts made the clown out more to be a brute-type character using a variety of weaponry. And that was going to be kind of his special ability, was that he was going to have a variety of weapons that had different functions that he would pull out and use on the player. After a while and going over the concepts with the team, we decided that giant clown is something we'd seen too many times before, and we wanted to go in a different direction. The clown gremlin felt like something that was a little bit newer and a bit more of a fresh gameplay experience. That's not to say
I can understand that.
Clowns. We just didn't want to use it as the main enemy type. Like the other enemies, the clown gremlins offer a number of unique kill shots, and they have a few unique traps at their disposal as well. Okay, now for the environment. The clown's world is the circus. Now, this isn't quite a circus like you and I have been to, something like Barnum and Bailey or Cirque du Soleil. Something with performers and lions and tigers. This is a nightmare circus, and it has many surreal realms buried within it. In fact, it's questionable as to whether they're a real circus at all. Their audience doesn't look that convincing. But regardless, as you progress through the circus level, you'll encounter several different environments, ranging from the circus exterior in the big top tent, to surreal clown obstacle course, a roller coaster, and finally a funhouse. Crazy Carnival is definitely the most trap-heavy level in Dark Deception so far. You'll really have to watch where you're going, and like the sewer, the clown gremlins are not the only enemy that you'll encounter in this level. Does that mean there's a boss fight, as some of you are predicting? Well, you'll just have to wait and see. Working on the clown level was pretty interesting for me because, as I've mentioned on social media, clowns are pretty much my number one fear. Coulrophobia is one of the most common human fears behind fear of heights.
That is true.
And fear of public speaking, so I don't feel too bad about it. Now, the sight of a clown doesn't turn me into a blubbering mess. It's more that it just makes me feel extremely uncomfortable. I may sit in a corner giving the clown a death stare and contemplating which objects in the room would be best to kill it with. But that's about it. The level draws a lot of inspiration from films that inspired me, like Poltergeist, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and pretty much every Tim Burton film. You might spot those influences as you play through the level. Clowns are always very well represented in the horror genre, and it's really exciting to be able to contribute to that. If people look back on this someday and say it was one of the better clown horror gaming experiences, then all this extra work and crunching will definitely have been worth it. Either way, it was a lot of fun to do. Okay, that's it for this time. Like I said last time, I'm trying to make these a little bit shorter. It's a little bit easier this time because we're in a crunch, as I'm sure you guys have kind of kept up with on our social media pages. So I'm trying to get these devlogs to be between probably like 4 and 6 minutes tops, just so that allows me to get them out faster, because I know you guys are very impatient for these things. And that should work out for both of us.
Well, I'm not that impatient.
Videos, be sure to like, comment, subscribe,
because that gives hype.
Notifications. Thanks, guys. Until next time.
Okay, let's go into the next thing I'm going to react to is Meet the Team video for Dark Deception creators.
Hello, everybody. This is our very first Meet the Team video. As you know, Dark Deception's team is very small, consisting of pretty much 3 people as the core team. Those 3 people are myself, Vince, Nixon, and Penn. Today's video is going to introduce you guys to Penn and let her tell you a little about what she does on the Dark Deception team, and also her past work in the video game industry. Okay, hey Penn, welcome. This is our first Meet the Team, and you're up at bat. So the first question I'm going to ask you today is just to explain what your role in the Dark Deception team is, and basically what is your contribution, what do you do?
Hi everyone, my name is Penn, and what I'm doing for Dark Deception is mostly focusing on the visual quality for materials and textures, and sometimes I'm handling a lot of assets just to make sure everything is good to go. That covers a lot.
Oh, was that it?
That's it!
There's nothing else to add?
It's a lot.
Okay. So how long have you been an artist, and why do you enjoy doing textures?
I've been a texture artist
she
for a long
handles
time,
the textures for Dark Deception. I heard of that.
On film project, animation project, and video games.
Very interesting.
Last video game project that I worked on, it was when I was at EA Visceral, and I worked on Battlefield 4 and Battlefield Hardline.
That's the Dead Space guys, right?
Yeah, they made Dead Space. So when I was there, my job was mostly focusing on materials and textures. So every day I have to paint a lot of texture maps and create a lot of materials for our team, for our environment artists to use. So because it's an open world game and it pretty much has everything, I would say I have paint everything, including a very dirty toilet. So they wanted realistic, so I had to research on a very dirty toilet and paint it.
So did you do textures more for environments or characters?
I mostly focus on environments.
So you said that you worked on environments primarily. Is there a battlefield environment that you feel best exemplifies your work?
For Battlefield 4, I spent a lot of time on this naval ship. And mostly, I was focusing on the environment, the structures, instead of props. So I painted a lot of world textures that could be shared. And it's been used by many environment artists that apply in the world. And of course, I did a lot of research for a naval ship, and I went to an extra ship to take a lot of photos for my own reference.
So she worked on
That was really
Battlefield
fun.
4 and
So how do you feel
5.
working at
So
EA
yeah,
has helped
that's
you with your
interesting.
work on Dark Deception?
EA always had a huge
We have
team
a
to work on the
yeah,
title.
it's quite interesting.
So every job is very
That's what you
specific,
did.
and all you need to do on the team is just focus on your job and do it right and make sure it's great. But for Dark Deception, we're such a small team. We pretty much have to do everything ourselves. If you're working on a small team like that, you really have to expand your skills. And when I was at EA, I met a lot of talented people, and I also expanded my skill there because I have to talk to people from different departments, people that have different skills. So that pretty much helped me to come up with our own pipeline for Dark Deception later.
So speaking of that pipeline, which software do you prefer to use as part of your texture pipeline?
I use Substance Painter every day. It's definitely fast and efficient, and the result looks great. But you don't always want to use Substance. Sometimes you just want something quick and easy. It's a small textures. Then I will go back to the old school way by using Photoshop. So I mostly use Substance Painter, Substance Designer, and Photoshop for my own workflow.
Yeah, Substance also pretty great for baking out models. I think you use it for baking all of our models as well. Is that correct? And we're back. Pin had herself a little cookie break, so now we're going to ask her the next question. How's that cookie, Pin?
It's great.
You put it down. Are you still going to eat it?
Yeah, when I eat it, it's going to be great.
Okay, you can have it now. So the next question is Unity or Unreal. You worked with Frostbite. Obviously, that's proprietary. It's not something that anyone can work with unless they work for EA, so, it comes at a price. But Unity and Unreal are available to aspiring game developers, indie developers. Which one? You've worked with both. Which has been your preference between the two, now that you've kind of spent some time with both of them?
I really like Frostbite. It's very powerful. It's node-based for creating the materials and the shading network with the textures. Unreal is very similar to Frostbite. So if I don't get to use Frostbite, then I would choose Unreal.
So working on Dark Deception has been a pretty fun experience for you because actually you're a really big horror fan.
Yep.
What are your favorite horror games?
Oh, that would be Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2 is my favorite. I love the music. I love the gameplay. Definitely the atmosphere.
Have you ever beaten it?
No.
Why?
Because I got scared.
Wait, how far did you get into it?
I don't know, far enough. It's really scary though. Move on.
How far?
I don't know, the apartment? Maybe in a hospital?
Okay, that's not bad. Okay, I thought maybe you didn't get past, the intro to the town. That would be bad. I'd have to force you to play through it to get beat it. Maybe this will be something we do in the future is make you play all the way through Silent Hill 2.
Okay.
So that's your favorite Silent Hill. Any other franchises you really love in the horror?
I also love Resident Evil. I like Resident Evil 1 and 2.
Those are definitely my favorite as well. So, yeah, I'm really excited about the Resident Evil 2 remake. What about you? Are you going to watch me play it, or are you going to play it? You're just going to watch me play it.
I can watch you play. I mean, the copy I got, it's for PC when it came out.
So you got Resident Evil, you have Silent Hill. Any others that stand out to you that you put in your top 3?
There are others. There are many others that came out much later. It's just for the all time. Resident Evil and Silent Hill. Silent Hill 2 is definitely my number one.
Okay, I can live with that. Okay, so while we covered games, what about films? Is there a favorite film of all time? Doesn't have to be horror, but yes, it does have to be horror.
Well, Terminator 2 is my favorite movie all time, but I consider it as a horror movie.
Yeah,
Do you agree?
Yeah, it's kind of like sci-fi horror.
Yeah, and there's another one that's pretty close to Terminator, like how much I love it. It's Aliens.
Okay, so basically James Cameron.
Yeah, I know.
So which level in Dark Deception have you enjoyed working on the most?
Okay, it's the manor, because it's the prettiest.
Yes, it is the prettiest.
It is.
It is. Okay, so to wrap this up, what advice would you give to viewers that are aspiring artists, maybe even texture artists, hoping to one day enter the game or film industry?
You need to be skilled and dedicated. Also practicing every day by drawing and painting and sketching. So mostly by doing this is to train yourself to have a good eye, color and form, light and shadow, and also taking photos, like photography, will also help.
What if they're not skilled?
If they're not skilled, then
But they have the passion, just not the skill.
Passion. Okay. Then you might not want to be a professional artist.
Or a producer. No.
No, producer, they have to be skilled too.
Do they?
They do. I mean, some of them. Not all of them. Some of them.
Okay, I've just been blacklisted from all of the top companies for saying that. I really hope this game works out. Great, that'll be it for this video. Basically, this Meet the Team series is just a quick, fun way for me to introduce you guys to the people who are putting in all the work on Dark Deception. It's separate from the devlogs, and I hope you enjoyed it, and Nixon's up next.
Okay, that's gonna be it, guys. Yeah. So, yeah, guys, this is another reaction to Dark Deception stuff. So, yeah, I'm really interested in this game. Like, it looks very unique. I can't wait for it to come out on the Nintendo Switch. Yes. Anyways, that's gonna be it. Freddy Fazbear is out right now.